elimination is going to be an interesting decision as he hears Xander quickly running away. He knows the revive isn't going off just yet, so he has a couple more seconds to work with, and he's making that safe play, ripping through the builds with that flapjack. That way he can try to at least pinpoint where they're positioned at before he actually tries to move in. If he even tries.
If it's a question. Of course, they have got ways to go towards zone. We're still seeing so many different players just populated in this area. This is what you can expect. So iDrop getting taken out down below. Malibuka the one to chase him down and clean it up. Look at that inventory, man. That looks silly.
Let me ask you a question. What is your pick? What is the 11-2K pick in terms of the Sharp Tooth and the Havoc? Or is it situational?
It just depends on the day, how I'm feeling, man.
Okay.
Depends on the day, depends on how I'm feeling. But who cares about me, man? I'm not important. I'm rubbish. You don't want to do what I'm doing. That don't matter. You want to do what these guys are doing. Maybe not Straps, because Straps is below Surge. So you don't want to do what he's doing when it comes to Surge.
You know, every time I feel like we're not seeing Archie, we haven't talked about him enough, in comes Archie. Finds that elimination and the Rift to try to keep themselves going. They have 2 so far. But you could tell, because of that early portions of their game, you saw them go down, you saw them try to take that slow rotation. They're going to be suffering from Surge. They need to figure out where each time they're going to try to get above that threshold. And there's another one in the replay. That's the first elimination of the duo, taking down a Nas. Another South. This is scary.
Yeah, because this terrain is not easy to traverse, right? The sort of hilly, sort of mountainy terrain. When you ain't got any movement, you just got to time yourself running in. That can be real tough. Gonna use the ridges and use the rivers as best as you can to try close that distance. That will probably be your best bet.
And it's going to be like really telling, because in this situation, if you're a team like Malibuka and Thomas, you simply just want to focus on the rotation, especially your 283 above the damage threshold. You just want to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. The problem is, there's so many teams in the lobby that are suffering from Storm Surge, they cannot make a simple rotation. They have to go for damage, because by the time they get to zone regardless, they're going to be down on Surge, having to look for it anyway. Even Malibuka and Thomas falling below where they were just moments ago.
Yeah, had to use a bunch of materials just to stay alive, and they didn't even get that much distance on the rotation.
And with victory in the last game, Dion Savage, 64, below the damage threshold. I say that, though, without even having a worry, because this team knows how to find damage in a distance. They know how to box up next to you and find damage when it's needed most. So for them, they spotted Nipsey. Nipsey's by himself, but look at Vidil going. He sees that as a green light. Shots being fired off. Nipsey doing a good job of being slippery as can be. Almost going through unscathed, especially knowing that everybody still has to continue their rotation. So spending time fighting into the zone is not going to be the most advantageous play for anybody involved.
Yeah, Nipsey barely getting away. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how he managed to, but he did regardless. Savage and Vidil, though, their pursuit of a fight will continue. They need to deal some damage for Surge. Savage trying to take a different angle to Vidil now as they pincer in on DKS and Vox.
Really can't give up now. There's not a lot of time. One more tick to Storm Surge. Mr. Savage gonna go down. Vidil's already out from a victory in the last game to not a single placement point in the next. That is how chaotic and destructive these games can be without mobility, especially if you don't plan ahead at every stage of the game. As Robob and Axe Force have did just enough planning to keep themselves above the damage threshold for eliminations. A great loadout as well. And the one thing I'll keep talking about is those mythic slap splashes, the unlimited stamina for a longer duration than anything else.
And you can see their priority as well, where they're choosing to move through this zone. They're sort of using this mountain as some extra cover. Fire, bro, up above. You know how dangerous Fire, bro, can be?
lucky I'm not in his region. I probably wouldn't even queue up the same time as him.
We'll see how long they can stay
Now
up
they're
here,
on
though.
the high ground.
Yeah.
That's my excuse. That's my excuse. The region's holding me back. Seti and Cammy. Low ground. And this is like a familiar spot for a team like Seti and Cammy. With rotation, without rotation, this is their play style. They stay away from everything else. They usually like to stay to the front side of the zone, which is why they're making an immediate rotation all the way, once again, towards that low ground. They're just going around